Doing a project. This is unrelated to the subject of my question here, of my video, but just to see what I'm doing. I'm inlaying this tile into a wooden vanity, and I'm having to drill holes, cut holes into it with this tungsten carbide bit there. And I'm taking a break because, frankly, it's really difficult. It's constant pressure, and it's literally one of the hardest materials to cut through that you can buy. Anyways, I have a little bit of a question for Ramsey Dewey. I'll see how I can send this to you. Maybe I can message it to you or something. Now, I've done work in security. I spent a lot of money to do executive protection training, and I did a couple bodyguard details, small stuff, nothing big. And they couldn't offer me enough money, so I'm a truck driver, so I make pretty good money. Anyways, practiced martial arts my whole life, but I've done a little bit in security and part-time, helping out bouncers call off and stuff. I've done things like that, and bail bonds as well. You have this concept, which is a very true concept, that the streets is kind of glorified, and you're more, a trained person who fights and gets hit against resisting opponents is a lot better than a street fighter. That's absolutely true for the most part. My question, I guess it's not a question, I guess I just want to bring up the idea of maybe there's a concept between two different kinds of street fights. Now, for one, most people who preach about street fights, they're probably embellishing it. Like you said, it's backyard bullies. It's schoolyard bullies and stuff. It's stupid. Or they're just idiots that get drunk and put on gloves in someone's backyard and call it a fight club or something, And there's an element of danger because it's irresponsible, not because anybody's particularly vicious or skilled. It's because it's irresponsible. A lot of the same accidents you see in those situations probably have happened in your gym. Only in your gym, you guys are trained to handle the situation, and you can call 911, and people are going to look out for you instead of just being like, oh shit, the cops are coming, I better bolt. And this example. But there's another angle of it, which is what ultimately all of the study of fighting is for, is really truly protecting yourself. I mean, sometimes, whether because you're in a bad situation, mostly you put yourself there, but sometimes it's also just because you're dealing with a crazy person, and you might actually be protecting yourself from somebody who's trying to kill you. What's up? You got a popsicle? And maybe you're protecting these ones.
I want to do holes.
Huh?
I want to do holes.
You want to do holes?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this one I'm babysitting. This one's mine. Doing popsicles? Did you do a popsicle for her? All right, go inside then. You don't. No. Don't stab this. I know. Okay, great. That's Braden. Hey, Finley. Why don't you go inside and eat your popsicle? We'll do holes in a little bit, okay? Okay? That one's not going to work. It's not sharp.
Come on, Finley.
Hey, go eat your popsicle.
Okay.
Good girl. Sorry. Or you're protecting them and from truly sadistic people. So I guess my question is would you differentiate between the two? There's organized crime units that they recruit from military. They send people to MMA gyms and boxing gyms and stuff. They try to actually have decent fighters. This really is true. You can ask. There's a lot of law enforcement officers you can ask about that. And they find whole training camps, or they find out that they're training with somebody who's they'll go raid someplace and they find one of their training partners there. That's happened. So would you say that there's at least two angles of it, but most people, 99.9% of everybody, is either lying or they're in that lower level of I warded off a schoolyard bully. But there is the angle of this person, maybe the person worked in security, maybe they were law enforcement and they saw some things, where the person actually was trying to kill them, There is a different level, even without the skill and the technical ability. It's the fact that the person's really, truly, viciously trying to kill you. This happens. This has happened to me. Just What's your thoughts on that? That's my question.